Mom hears moaning on the baby monitor and rushes to the nursery to see that the baby isn't alone. When many couples get married, they start talking about having children. For many couples, having a family is the next step in building a life together. Many couples have no problem conceiving and having children, and there are some couples who spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on fertility treatments just to have a baby. Roy and Bernita fell in love, and they got married. Like most couples, shortly after getting married, they wanted to start a family. Both Roy and Bernita came from big families, and they always dreamed of having a big family of their own. Shortly after getting married, they started trying to have their family. It didn't take long for Bernita to get pregnant. She and Roy were thrilled. They spent their time trying to choose baby names and thinking about what it would be like when the baby came. Sadly, the baby was born prematurely. The baby was so premature that he didn't make it. Shortly after losing their baby, Bernita found out that she was pregnant again. She was sure that this baby would be born healthy. Sadly, she was wrong. She lost this baby and then another one a few months later. The couple was sure that it wasn't in the cards for them to have a family. Bernita wanted to have a baby to satisfy her maternal instinct. With each loss, she felt that she lost a piece of her heart. Not having a baby left a void that she didn't know how to fill. That's when midnight came into Roy and Bernita's lives. One night, Bernita opened the door and found a tiny little kitten standing there. He was a bit dirty and he looked hungry. It was clear that the kitten was a stray. Bernita was looking for someone to love for so long. Then Midnight came up on the porch. When Bernita picked him up, she immediately fell in love. Midnight had been living with Roy and Bernita for almost a year when Bernita got the shock of her life. She went to the doctor and found out that she was pregnant. At first, she was worried. She didn't want to lose another baby. She and Roy talked and they decided that they would hope for the best. Bernita's pregnancy progressed, and each day she carried the baby longer than she did any of the others. Finally, she reached her 40th week of pregnancy. She carried her baby to term. Bernita gave birth to a little girl who she and Roy named Stacy. They felt like baby Stacy was their miracle. When Roy and Bernita brought Stacy home, they were a bit worried about how Midnight would react. What if Midnight didn't like Stacy? Would they be able to trust Midnight around the baby if he didn't like her? From the time that they brought Stacy home, Midnight acted like her protector. He slept right beside the crib at night, keeping an eye on the baby. When the baby was in her swing, he sat right underneath it. They were best friends. One day, Stacy started coughing, and she sounded congested. Not wanting to take any chances, Bernita took her to see her pediatrician. The doctor told Bernita that Stacy just had a cold. After dinner, Bernita brought Stacy to her room and put her to bed. As usual, Midnight was right behind. Bernita turned on the baby monitor and went back downstairs to join Roy and her parents. When Bernita and Roy heard a howling sound over the monitor, they ran upstairs. Stacy was barely breathing and she was turning blue. Midnight was standing by the baby monitor, howling into it, trying to get his parents' attention. Bernita and Roy rushed Stacy to the hospital. When they arrived, their baby daughter was in full respiratory arrest. Bernita felt that her greatest fear was coming true. Fortunately, the doctors were able to save her. They told her that if she had waited just a few minutes longer to get Stacy to the hospital, that she would have died. As soon as the doctors told Bernita and Roy that their baby would have died if they waited to get her to the hospital, they realized that Midnight was a hero. Had he not got their attention when he did, Stacy would have died. Bernita says that Midnight showing up on the porch looking for a place to live was the greatest thing that could have happened to their family. Stacy had a hero and protector. Every baby should have one.